Congratulations. You found the Twin Cities Hit Show.
Very well. Where do I begin?
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention?
You're lucky to be here.
Thank you, sir. Reach for this one.
And now, a real hit show.
I'm trying to prevent a catastrophe.
You and your team had a very busy weekend.
Live from the Twin Cities.
Now, I want you to choose your next words very carefully.
Oh, boy. It's the Twin Cities Hit Show.
I can't protect you. They're coming after us with everything they've got.
Specialist without equal, immune to any countermeasures.
If I have 1 second of doubt whose side you're on,
Let's get this hit show started.
If I ever hear either of those songs on their own, I'll be so confused.
They sound good together, don't they?
Oh, they sound amazing together.
You sound like you're underwater.
I am underwater. Well, all the, the headsets are off.
Blip, blip, blip. Colleen Justice, what do you sound like? You look fantastic.
Thanks. Do I sound good?
You sound amazing.
You sound right.
I love those boots.
Thanks.
I won't lie to you. Those are nice.
You said boots?
Those are nice.
You said boobs. And I thought, well, that's a bit forward, Chuck.
No, I think boots is just as bad.
Thank you, Chuck. I adore your penis. It's a fantastic dick you have.
How about my sandals?
At least you're not wearing socks with them sandals.
I appreciate that. I pulled my neck. So for me to look at you, I have to turn my whole body.
Is that what you call your dick, a neck?
Yeah, I only pulled it once, and it hurts a lot.
Do you know how your neck was pulled?
No.
And I apologize for starting off so crass.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Start over.
Lowbrow.
What
Lowbrow.
the hell is wrong
You're
with
better
me?
than that, Gattenby.
Blow me.
Stick to the poop jokes.
Yeah. Always stick to the poop.
I know my daughter specifically is not listening because she was up late last night. She was at TCF Stadium. You know, you go to YouTube, and there are, like, without exaggeration, a gazillion cell phone videos from last night's One Direction TCF Stadium concert.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what it is? It's all of my friends that took their daughters that I will never be that good of a mom because there's no way in hell I could sit through that.
Last time they were here, I took my daughter.
That's sweet of you. And I feel bad. Like, I'm like, oh, I'm not a good mom. But I can't even, like, bring myself to do it.
I couldn't stomach it.
Oh.
My kids were going through the Minecraft phase when this song was big, so they had a Minecraft song cover of it, and I didn't know the original.
Yeah.
And all I heard is this
last night.
creepers will creep you out or something.
Zane's not even in it anymore.
I know.
And
So
he was, like, the most cute, the cutest of the bunch.
Listen to these. For 2 hours.
I was working at the mall, and I forgot what boy band was there.
NSYNC.
Yeah, no, it wasn't quite that big, but they were big. And it was that in the East Rotunda of the mall for an hour and a half.
I did a remote when NSYNC first came out, and there was 20,000 people that showed up to the Mall of America.
Maybe that was it. I don't know. It was huge.
They were the biggest one.
Yeah.
I was, because I was aware, because I'm a hip guy like that,
Mm-hmm.
that NSYNC was going to be popular. So on my way into Channel 5, I actually went, I'm going to swing down 494 just to see if I see something.
Yeah.
Because the mall had said, no camping out, no blah, blah, blah. Well, sure enough, there was already like headlights pouring in to the Mall of America. There was girls around. You could see. And I called the station right away. I said, you need to get a live truck. You need to get a live truck down here now. I realize the doors don't open until, 9 a.m., and NSYNC's not going to be here till 2, but it has begun. So they said, all right, stay there. We scrambled the live truck. I did my report starting at 5 a.m. from the Mall of America. It was crazy. When the doors finally opened, they had 20,000 screaming kids in there.
It's
Maybe
cute.
that was it.
It is. I
It
mean,
is
you
not
see it.
cute when
you
you're
know
near
why? The thing is, I kind of think back to when I was that age. I didn't have a band that I liked because I was
gonna
always
say,
a
who
Beatles
was it?
fan. Well, the Beatles.
Yeah.
And
Funny you should
But
mention.
I would watch the documentaries and cry like the girls watching the Beatles at the time. I get it. I understand
Listen to this.
that.
It's not from last night.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I'm getting tears in my eyes.
honored by their country,
I love it.
decorated by their queen and loved here in America. Here are the Beatles.
Right?
I get goosebumps every time. I'm getting teary. I went and saw Paul McCartney last year and cried during it, so I did.
So we can't throw too many stones.
No, I can't.
No,
I
I kind of
can't.
get it.
I get it.
We can't throw too many stones. Here, listen to this guy. This is a news report from Shea Stadium. Listen to this.
Hi.
And by the way, as a journalist, this guy had an agenda. Listen to this.
What's your name?
Suzanne,
And where are you from?
Wandsworth.
Now tell me the truth. Are you really a Beatles fan or are you here because it's the right thing to do?
I love the Beatles.
I bet there's a group you like better now.
No, I don't-
What? How do you phrase that question?
Yeah.
This guy wants
Yeah.
an answer. He's not
anything
getting it.
better than the Beatles.
Honestly, aren't the Beatles on their way out?
What about the Kinks? You like the Kinks? I like the Kinks.
Come
Stones-
on. You and I both know
Yeah.
the Beatles suck, see?
I don't think so. I think they're still strong.
Tell me, what do you
I think
feel
so.
when you hear the Beatles singing?
Oh, it's
Tingly.
like I'm going to drop dead.
What thoughts run through your
I
mind?
wish I could have one of them to myself.
I understand,
Which one?
sweetheart.
Oh, he's the only one who isn't married.
Would you settle for one of the others?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Do you think you might do some screaming tonight?
I'm going to lose my voice. I know I am, because I'm going to
She's
screech and
cute.
cry so loud.
Gosh.
You're pretty brave to be
I
out
like
here
this
with all
guy.
these
Listen-
She
girls.
later died of a heroin overdose, just so you guys know.
Listen to this guy. This guy actually is Nostradamus. He actually could see the future and see the talent.
Well, I'm just glad I'm not one of the Beatles.
Don't you think this whole Beatle craze is sort of silly and strictly for girls?
No, not really. I think they're very talented musicians and talented songwriters and excellent showmen.
You like them?
Yeah,
How
Yeah.
long do you think they can last?
as long as they keep playing, they'll last. And writing songs and making pictures.
Okay, thank you.
That guy for
Yeah,
president.
yeah, for Brooklyn.
That guy
Look,
for president.
the Beatles will last forever. As long as they keep writing the songs. As long as they're going to get shot in the head right here.
He was right, though. They would last
Yeah.
for as long as
And
they
they
wrote.
have.
Yeah,
They
they did
did.
okay. I mean, they're
Yeah.
good. You know, they're
Once
good.
in a while you hear a mention of him here and there.
Yeah, them boys could play some good music. That Ringy guy, he played the drums.
I think his name was Larry. No, it was Bongo.
Bango.
So they quit doing tours because the screaming
Right.
was so
NSYNC?
loud.
Was it Shea
NSYNC?
Stadium?
Shea Stadium. And
Oh.
then they did
Stadium.
They did Candlestick Park. They actually did Red Rock Canyon. So they did they did Met Stadium. This is from Shea Stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's before they had hearing protection.
Well, before they had monitors,
Yeah,
and
right.
correct speakers.
Could you
and all
imagine
that.
trying to sing to that?
Although they started at that point experimenting more with music and sounds, it wouldn't have been able to play live anyway. You know what I
Not
mean?
just music and sound.
When they
other
went
things.
When they went into the studio, yeah,
Right.
they really started doing. But here's how John Lennon realized that no one could hear you. Here's his mic isolated, and he goes on to gibberish
Oh, I
talk
love
at Shea
this.
Stadium.
Thank you. We'd like to do a slow song now, Rebecca. And it's also off Beatles 6 or something. I don't really know what it's off. I haven't got it.
Beatles 6.
The next song we like to sing.
They can't hear him.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rosetta Stone.
When George is ready, we'd like to do the title song from the first film we made. Remember that? The black and white one.
Creepy.
And it's called A Hard Day's Night.
But no one could hear them.
Oh, God! It's been a
So, was it Beatlemania last night at TCM Stadium? I don't think so.
I don't think it's the
Never
same.
will be.
Yeah, because you can't touch what they started, created, and kept going.
Yeah.
I think the quality of music just blows your mind. And what are their names? One Direction. They don't have that library of song.
No.
Everything is a collection of flashes in the pan now. And part of it is our culture and social media and all that stuff.
Right.
Everything transfers so fast, moves so fast, and burns out so fast. The Beatles endured for a long time, relatively.
Yeah.
So
That my daughter, when I would give her crap about liking boy band type stuff, she'd, well, the Beatles were a boy band, Mom. I'm like, oh, go to your room.
don't you.
Go to your room.
But they did start out as a boy band.
Well, but in the sense that they were boys and played an instrument and were in a band. They weren't like,
Yeah.
they didn't like get plucked out of different places
Right. No.
by Simon
Right,
Cowell
right.
and
yeah, they
kinda
weren't
cobbled
created
together.
Yeah.
They did it on their own.
Yeah.
But their music was way more, I want to hold your hand, she loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So they were very pop.
It's
and
jangly,
cute
but it's still good.
Yeah.
It's still great music.
Yeah. I actually
love
went crazy at Barnes & Noble and bought a whole bunch of Beatles stuff. Hard Day's Right, which is a book about like where their songs actually all came from. And I'm a Beatles nut.
I
too.
have my son, who's 9, since he was little. I have a picture of him dressed as John Lennon as a 5-year-old, like the mop top, really cute. But he would watch these movies and still does.
Yeah.
And when his friends would come over, he's like, "Do you want to play Beatles?" And they're like looking at him like, "What does that mean?" It's like we
he's
run
gonna be
around,
so
we run,
uncool.
and girls chase us.
It's lucky. We were neighbors. I dressed my son as Mark David Chapman when he was young.
I dressed my son up as a coroner.
Our kids would not have got along. They would have at first, but then it would have ended horribly.
Terribly.
Yeah.
Oh my
Hey, let's introduce our guest who's here.
Hey, it's Joshua Florhaug. Hey, get up right up on that.
We're having mic issues this morning. I hope the show actually sounds well.
Is it working?
Yeah.
I can hear him.
Okay. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Josh. How good to see you. You look like you've lost some weight. You look lovely.
I've lost 10 pounds in the last 2 weeks.
Gee, I wonder why.
Why?
Randy, he just started a crash diet called surgery.
Yeah, I got surgery.
What kind of surgery?
I got hemorrhoid surgery.
Oh.
Hey, that's a pain
my
in the...
my favorite.
It's the worst.
It's worse than having hemorrhoids?
Yeah.
Really?
The surgery is way worse.
Really?
Yeah.
They had to have been bad to have surgery.
Oh, yeah.
But John Lennon says thank you. But we discussed when we met last week at the Tony Fly Show. He actually did his surgery himself at home.
That's why it
with a
was
steak
the worst.
knife. Yeah.
Oh.
Just, I went to culinary school, so a very sharp steak knife.
Bit down on a wash rag.
Yep. Pulled up a YouTube video. You can really find it.
And julienne them after. He julienne them.
Hey, look, he brought a jar with him. Let
And
me see
now
that.
he's acquired a new hobby called fisting.
Nice.
That
He didn't acquire that.
got him into the struggle to begin with.
He just improved his hobby called fisting. So, no, seriously, let me see that jar with the hemorrhoids in them. That is awesome. What is that fluid? Is that formaldehyde?
No, I just brought an energy drink.
Oh.
Just trying to get him back as quickly as possible.
I understand. Yeah.
Well, we're going to skip around to some of the stuff that happened over the weekend. And feel free to chime in and let us know your opinion. First, you're a Minnesota comic.
Yes.
A little bit about yourself. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Phoenix, Arizona.
Get the hell out of here.
And in St. Paul. My mom moved us when I was 13.
And these guys are saying you're related to Louis Anderson.
Yes, he is my great uncle.
Is he that great, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has to say that. He helps him with publicity. He has to say that.
He's pretty great.
Disclaimer.
Well, Louis is a full-on 100% Minnesotan, so we will accept you then into the club.
He doesn't live here.
Oh, damn it! Okay, Louis out and you're in.
Yes.
In his place. And you're married?
I am not married.
And you're not married. You,
We're just going to keep guessing stuff. And you like pickles.
You are...
You like pickles?
I actually don't like pickles.
No?
This is the best show I've ever been on.
It's called 1,200 Questions. It goes
I
on
live
for
with
about...
my girlfriend.
Nice.
Ah, well, that's sinful.
I've met your girlfriend, so that's uncomfortable.
Been taking good care of me after the surgery. So
Putting
I,
on
I
Ointment?
probably have to marry her.
Ointment?
Not ointment, but like
Salve.
just me yelling at her about everything.
That is a huge deal breaker, too, in a relationship, or could be potentially. Hey,
Oh, yeah.
I have ass issues. Really? Look at the time.
I have not been pleasant this last 2 weeks.
Wonder
I probably
why.
should marry
Wonder
her.
why you haven't been
Because
pleasant.
she'd like, my bedroom's upstairs, so she'd go downstairs to get me like some water, and I'd be like, ooh, I'm also hungry now, too.
You're like a torturer. You're cruel.
Just the worst.
Yeah.
Wow.
I have to ask, what causes hemorrhoids?
Genetics. That's what my therapist
Karma. I heard
was
it's karma.
Bad attitude.
Straining too hard when you poop.
Yeah, that probably, too.
Why are you straining so hard? You need more fiber.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Playing on my iPhone probably in the bathroom.
Yeah, I play on my iPhone. My legs fall asleep. I got to be cognizant of the positioning, but other than that.
That is not good.
No, I know.
You're going to be in my position very soon.
Oh, boy. Great.
All right.
Well, I'm out of here, guys.
Meaning you're going to be in his room telling his girlfriend to get you food and drink.
How long have you guys been dating? Because sincerely, that is an uncomfortable, embarrassing, gross scenario, I would think. In a
Oh, yeah,
relationship.
it is just, it was so terrible to have to tell her.
This isn't like the third date.
No,
It's so uncomfortable to have to tell
It's been a year and a half.
Okay.
You know that little tickle you feel? Yeah, that's a hemorrhoid.
I never made her look at him. But I was like,
I maybe she discovered them. You might want to get those checked.
Oh.
I was like, I just gotta go get a doctor's appointment for this. She's
Yeah.
like, really? And I'm like, yeah, you don't have to worry about it. Medical professional.
Now, most men would have just ignored that and toughed it out. But
I did for years, and that's
Yeah.
why I think I needed the surgery. I was like, yeah, I can deal with this.
Oh, man. So what would you recommend to someone who are in denial right now?
Oh, take care of it with the creams or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't ignore it for 4 years.
Wow.
That's my biggest.
Nice. Colleen?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you were dating someone and they were going through this,
What,
and he was going through this,
That's fine, whatever, right? Because there's going to be some gross stuff coming down the chute.
Oh.
Literally?
Literally. No, yeah,
Down the
whatever.
pipeline.
I have no problem with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're such a sweetheart.
When we're out to dinner, you can't bring the inflatable donut. That's all I ask.
I never got one of those. Everybody's like, oh, where's your donut? Never got one.
Maybe that's why
Rip
these 2
off.
weeks have been so miserable.
I know.
Yeah, exactly.
I blame Obama.
It's Obamacare is what it is.
Yeah, universal health care,
They
my
took-
ass.
Yeah, my ass.
See what I did there? See what I did there? Hey.
Universal healthcare, my ass. Hey, speaking of politics, so Trump, Donald Trump. I don't know if you've heard, but he's running for president of these United States.
No kidding.
He found a new target over the weekend. It's our buddy over in Wisconsin. Go get him.
Oh, yeah.
Go get him.
That's a good pair.
Finally, I can attack.
Trump trained his fire on Walker after one of the Wisconsin governor's backers called Trump a dum-dum in a fundraising email.
What?
The person just,
How old are these guys? They're acting like children, but do they have to use their language too?
No kidding. Dum-dum.
He's a dum-dum.
Whatever, freckle face.
well, why is he doing that? Hit me. And I said, hey, now the gloves are off.
And so at a rally in Oskaloosa, Iowa, Trump, who has never held elective office, ran through what he considered Walker's failings.
Wisconsin's doing terribly. It's first of all, it's in turmoil. The roads are a disaster because they don't have any money to rebuild them. They're borrowing money like crazy.
Walker responded with a barrage of tweets outlining his accomplishments.
You're unbelievable.
So there they go. The
Well,
kids.
it's funny. Like, the
kids are
roads are
wrestling.
terrible. The roads are terrible. None of them are gold-plated with giant rump signs all over the place.
There's actually a list of valid grievances happening over in Wisconsin. Potholes, I didn't think was one of them. Bad
No.
roads.
You guys, how is
That
his
was
driver going to bring him places when there's potholes?
Yeah.
Good
He's going
point.
to spill his espresso in the back seat on his $20,000 suit.
Good point.
dum-dum.
I saw the funniest thing. It was the Who Wore It Better, and it was Trump, and the wind got his hair flipping to the
Yeah.
side,
Some of
and
those
then
are
it had
crazy.
corn. You know how it has the hair
yeah.
at the top, and it
Yeah.
was blowing in the same direction.
That's funny. I actually looked up on The Onion, which is a reputable source, and apparently that wig that the corn is wearing is made of dead swallow hair.
You need to think through some stuff.
We are in the ditch again.
I'm trying to.
Chuck has
trying
this is the
to-
point
What time
of the
is it?
show.
What time is
Well,
it?
where
it's
Chuck
been great, you
drives
guys.
the entire show into the ditch.
He doesn't have that. It's like, I
Josh,
think it,
can you,
therefore I
you
say
got a
it.
hitch?
Yeah,
Can you help pull this show out of the ditch that Chuck has driven us into?
The Onion, just a real reputable source.
Yeah, for sure.
The Onion, by the way, is fantastic,
Oh.
but it's a humor magazine.
Oh, wait a minute.
people. Yeah, he was reciting last week from another.
I listened to that episode where he also...
Yeah, I was all excited.
I listened to the show,
Thank you, listener.
and then I turn it off right when you start quoting fiction.
Yes, and amazed by really endangered monkey hair.
Never let the truth get in the way of a good story. Never.
So when are the 2015 Hunger Games going to happen?
We are a year and a half away. Oh, I thought you were talking about the election.
See,
I do too.
the whole show is just. We're
It's
done.
unbelievable.
Thanks. You've been listening to Twin Cities City Show. Have a great week.
But, I mean, as far as Wisconsin goes, there are legitimate grievances over there. There's either the teachers are getting their pay cut, the university, education's getting a pay cut, the unions are all getting deemed communist, but Trump focuses on bad roads.
He's sharp.
So which leads me to believe is Trump actually has no problem with doing that crap.
He has no platform for anything. What is his platform? What does he actually come out and say?
Being awesome.
Yeah, but I mean, you know,
Chuck, you're sounding like a dum-dum.
Yeah, sorry.
He's not smart enough to have a platform.
Yeah, that's what I
why
mean.
he's not going to attack the union or school cuts, because he doesn't know how to actually fix those things.
Well, you think he would? He has all the money in the world that maybe he would have hired someone and said, "Look, Donald, let's stop just making our platform about attacks in your hair. Let's actually have like one issue that we're going to focus on and make our, you know, Trump for change or Trump for the same." Or,
Well, he's going to bring America back, and then my question always is, back to what?
Exactly.
Where? How far back?
Yeah.
Going back to where?
You know, back.
Yeah.
back.
You know.
Yeah.
Can't
Speaking
wait
of back,
to
how
get
are your
those
hemorrhoids?
those coloreds only restrooms. I mean, we're back to where?
That was my favorite.
Yeah, Jesus. No, we're going forward, Trump.
Half the people, think about it.
I'd like to bring America back to maybe the tax rate during your almighty Reagan era. Those are pretty good tax rates.
Wasn't Trump filing for bankruptcy around that?
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. Let's bring him
We're
back.
not bringing that far back. Bring it when he was on the up.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, speaking of presidents, our guy's heading around the world. And not to jolly old England or the Eiffel Tower. He's going into the thick of it.
He went home.
Kenya and Ethiopia.
Yeah. Home.
He wasn't born there, but
No,
yeah.
but
Yes, he was. Come on, we all know he was. Let's stop
Prove
with
it.
this.
Prove it, Rusty.
Crazy.
Pretty amazing. But here's a quick report, a brief report from CBS on the president abroad.
President Obama inspected an Ethiopian honor guard and stood with Prime Minister Desalegn Haile-Mariam this morning. But ceremony could not obscure a decade of harsh single-party rule, harassment of journalists, and the jailing of dissidents.
Yikes.
The two leaders sat together, allies in a regional counterterrorism battle against al-Qaeda affiliate al-Shabaab, which claimed responsibility for a deadly bombing Sunday in the neighboring Somalian capital of Mogadishu. Ethiopian troops have been battling al-Shabaab in Somalia off and on since 2000.
Doesn't al-Shabaab just sound like a nice little restaurant?
It kind of reminds me of something on
What'd you
The
go to do?
Simpsons.
We went to al-Shabaab. It was fantastic.
They have good desserts there, right?
Yeah.
Conference, the president addressed strains in U.S. relations with Ethiopia.
Now, this is the part I find, because he does it in Ethiopia, and then he goes on to, he did it in Kenya as well. You're visiting as being friendly, but you're not really friends.
Right.
You have common enemy that you can discuss, but you really have a lot of issues with each other. That's got to be the most awkward.
Well, look at Cuba. I mean, we were like, we hate your human rights. We hate everything about you. But let's open it up. And I get it. Let's open it up. I mean, there's such a non-problem. But
Cuba's, I think, not as nasty as Ethiopia.
No, but don't you think, though, it's almost like watching him and Netanyahu next to each other? That is always the most awkward.
Oh,
it's like
yeah,
they're like
yeah.
really stiff.
Yeah. Oh,
but
yeah.
we're friends. Yes,
Yeah.
this is great. But you know inside when they're walking out, they just talk so much shit
Well,
about each other.
He's the first sitting president who, like, didn't immediately embrace Netanyahu and Israel right when he went into office.
They're a little too war hungry for his.
That's a frigid relationship there.
Yeah.
Who in your life? Who in your life do you not get along with that you consider not a friend?
I don't have anyone like that.
Really?
Not a single
I should give you some of mine.
I don't. I really do. I have one, but I don't see them, and I don't like.
I don't see them because we're
now
not
imagine spending the weekend with them, in their guest room.
Right. It would start off nice, and then it would be like after we'd be drinking, and then gloves
fall
are off.
back into the same patterns.
Yep.
House of Cards, I think. I mean, it's fiction, but they really do a good job of painting that relationship between Russia and the United States.
House of Cards is fiction?
Yeah. According to The Onion.
According to The Onion.
According to The Onion.
Here's a little more from Ethiopia,
Dick.
which has done...
Get off my show.
horrible human rights things, but here it goes on.
I believe that when all voices are being heard, when people know that they're included in the political process, that makes a country stronger and more successful and more innovative.
So basically, he started to rearrange their furniture while he's at their house.
Yeah.
He's telling them, no, you fuckers, you got it all wrong. The couch goes over here. Stop killing people. Allow these people to protest.
This comes after Mr. Obama's trip to Kenya this weekend, where he clashed openly with President Uhuru Kenyatta over Kenya's opposition to gay rights.
The idea that they are going to be treated differently or abused because of who they love is wrong.
For Kenyans today, the issue of gay rights is really a non-issue.
Because you won't let them talk.
Well, maybe they don't have gays, just like Iran.
Right.
Remember? They just don't have gays.
Yeah,
there.
I'm sure.
The president also said
What's that? No.
Kenya and other African nations still cling to traditions that marginalize women and discourage them from working.
That's stupid.
That sounds awesome.
He just called what their policies
That makes no
stupid
sense.
in their house.
Yeah.
There were
They've
wider
had those
moments.
policies longer than America's been around,
Yeah.
and he just shows up and he's like, "Nope."
Hey, dummies.
He's like, 4,000 years. Get it together, guys.
Well, it still doesn't make it right. They should still kind of go, yeah, you may have a point. We've been
I
hanging on
think
this
women
for too
not
long.
working sounds awesome. What do we have to do?
No, it's not good.
I
You don't get to work, but there's also like
Yeah.
a lot of bad.
Yeah,
stuff.
you know, I don't know. There's some trade-offs. I get it.
Speaking of women not working, did you hear about the cover of the New Yorker?
I just saw it.
35 ladies gathered, and they had one common friend. Bill,
Oh, yeah.
Powerful photograph this
I
morning
thought it
brings
was
together
34 because
dozens
they have
of
the empty seat.
Was that it?
Yeah, because if you look at the cover, there's
Yeah.
one empty
For
seat.
the next one.
Oh,
Yeah,
for
I
the-
just
for
say-
the-
It's for the next one to come.
It's an
so
it's
they're
a-
waiting
Yeah.
on one.
The
There's
ghost
more.
of Christmas future. Boo.
But I like the makeup. I mean, I don't like. I find it interesting that Cosby he would offend anyone. He would rape anyone, pretty much. Age, race, but
Cosby's accusers. The cover of New York Magazine features 35 of the comedian's alleged sexual assault victims. The group picture shows the diversity of the women. They range in age from their 20s to 80. Most of them are Playboy bunnies, TV writers, journalists, and waitresses.
And lunch
They
ladies.
give their
And
accounts
lunch
of what happened. Cosby says the sexual activity was consensual.
okay.
You know what's really cool? I mean, in a way, I guess, is that they all came forward. They all went on the cover. I think that's impressive.
Is it?
35
Yeah,
ladies.
none of them were like,
It's
well,
shocking.
I'm going to try to back out now. They're
Yeah.
like, yeah, let's see this cover.
Yeah.
They really want to.
Yeah.
They're doing their jury by public opinion, their trial by public opinion.
Yeah.
So do it. I mean, there.
That, and I get it in this situation. You're like, yeah, but that scares me a little bit too. You don't want to, if in case I were to ever be brought up on some charges, I don't want anyone taking magazine
What have you
covers
done?
and
What have you done?
right, and then kind of setting the narrative
No,
before
I'm-
you get in.
To
shit.
35
I'm serious.
people.
What
Yeah.
have you done?
But I mean, in this case, I understand it. I get it, but.
You would. I think if Cosby was completely innocent, he would be more vocal about his innocence.
Absolutely.
I think his quiet speaks volumes.
I agree.
By the way, the cover of the Fridley community paper shows 12 people that you cut off in traffic. They got
In
together.
an empty chair.
Fridley.
They have 4 or 5 more empty chairs.
That's
because there's
the
more
people you cut
There's
off
more.
today on the
Yes.
way here.
There's more.
What's your
I'm looking at
problem
this
with
list. here.
Fridley?
I'm looking at this list. These women, I would have hit them. Every single one.
In the ditch. Here we go again.
Hello, Walgreens. Yes, can I renew my prescription for Rohypnol? Thanks.
Chuck standards, everybody.
Chuck.
There's 80.
I don't do men with hemorrhoids.
Good.
Hey, speaking of which, Las Vegas weddings apparently are dropping in popularity. True story.
You hear that,
This morning,
Rusty?
many would-be brides and grooms are turning their backs on the city that calls itself the wedding capital of the world. Carter Evans learned from the pros what may be causing couples to skip Sin City on their special day.
Well,
Yeah, Rusty.
I just got married there.
Did you?
This is Elvis.
Just?
January.
Yeah. By Elvis.
By
I thought
Elvis.
Elvis was dead.
No, he's doing weddings in Vegas.
Yeah, doing weddings.
From
yeah.
this day, I promise to be your hunk of burning love.
Oh.
It's down 40%.
Performs up to 130 ceremonies a week at the Graceland Wedding Chapel.
And they're saying it's because bad publicity with films like The Hunger Games, where they wake up and have no memory of getting married and all that stuff.
Great.
But I
The
mean, that's
Hunger
what-
Games? You mean?
I mean, the
Have you ever
The
seen
Hunger.
The Hunger Games?
Hi, that's a new book.
The
You guys
DVD
know the Hunger Games where they get married in Vegas?
I woke up with an arrow in my heart.
the DVD version. Come on. No,
The deleted
Hangover. The Hangover.
Yeah.
The Hangover.
This is bad timing. I literally booked a trip to Vegas yesterday for a World Series. Oh, God help me.
For the World Series.
Of comedy. Literally
Oh.
booked it yesterday. Does that mean I'm going to wake up married to a prostitute?
Well,
a man with hemorrhoids?
It's down 40%.
Not if they see your act.
What?
Hey?
It's down
Huh?
40%. So you might actually have no waiting at the chapel if you go in.
That's good. Well, maybe I'll find my future
Where did you get married in Vegas?
At the wedding chapel, right by the
Little-
Stratosphere.
The little white chapel, that
Yeah,
one?
yeah.
Did you jump off the stratosphere right after?
I did not.
Oh, God.
I've done bungee jumping, but no, I did not. My wife would not let me.
Is this number 2 for you?
Could be. I think it's more.
Really?
It's number 3, 4.
Number 3.
Number 3.
Nice.
This is the one.
This is it. Third time's a charm.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
You have more
I
marriages.
finally found out what love is supposed to be like.
You have more marriages than the rest of us put together. I mean, good job.
Wait, what?
She's had one. I've had one. Josh has had none.
Oh,
That's true, even though you thought I had one. Remember that?
Where did you get married?
I don't.
I got
Did
married
I think you were married?
right here, Incarnation.
You got married at the Live and Social Studios?
Yes, right downstairs.
Wow.
Oh my god. Yeah, it was a Wednesday Southside studio.
It was in the garden, the backyard. It was during the band.
Yeah. That was before they cleared the weeds out. Yeah.
No, where'd you get married?
Incarnation, Church of Incarnation over here. And then I had my reception at the Bandana Square in St. Paul.
Nice.
How,
what a great spot.
How many years ago was that?
Going on 19.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about it.
Yeah, she's
good.
She's older than she looks.
I was married 9 years the first time, 12 years the second time.
And you had children with both?
Yep.
And you have any children with this one?
No, she's a child, so.
Young.
Nah.
She was one of your children's friends.
Oh, gross.
Son dated her
Starts to
first
happen.
just to know that she was the one.
Yeah.
He's like, you know, you wouldn't be good for me, but my dad would love you.
It's true.
Yeah.
No, she's not that. Well, yeah, she is.
How old
younger.
is she?
Hey, how about that One
What?
Direction concert?
She's. Can I say?
You don't even know, do you?
In her
She's
30s.
early 30s.
She's
The most.
37.
Oh, she's aged well. Good job on the oil of Olay, Jennifer.
I'm old. I can say she was born in the 70s. I like that part because she was born in 1979. She got in just under the wire.
Perfect.
So I was. If I had taken her to my senior prom, she would have been in my arms as an infant.
Gross, Rusty.
I chose not to.
I chose not to.
She was hot, but
Yeah.
I waited all
There's
those years
laws
to ask her out a
against
second time.
She wanted to go topless, and I'm like, no,
Dude.
inappropriate, you little infant.
She didn't want to match her dress with your tie, and then you guys were like, I'm just not going. I'll get another date.
She's fantastic. And we did get married in Vegas, and we thought it was a hoot. We then jetted off to the Caribbean. And
how long did you date for?
2 years.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
Oh,
about right.
you sound surprised.
No.
Oh, wow,
It's
you
gonna be
put some thought into this
it's gonna be
one.
another podcast I'm not going to let my girlfriend listen to. We're coming up on 2 years. She'd be like, oh, Rusty got married in 2 years?
Oh.
Oh, when are we going to get married? I'm like, I don't know. Rusty's
And
been
she's
married
saying,
3
but
times.
the funny thing is,
Yeah.
she's saying this as she's rubbing ointment on your
Asshole.
Yeah.
butt.
Yeah. Hey, look at the time. We got to take a break. We come back. Have you guys listened to or heard about Wyatt Cenac talking about Jon
I
Stewart and the
did,
friction?
yeah.
I
Did you
have,
li-
and just watched his comedy special last night.
Wyatt's?
Yeah.
Is it good?
I am a huge fan of his.
Did he talk about Jon Stewart in the special?
No.
No.
I think his special came out a little before that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But he is hilarious.
Does it surprise any of you?
Yeah, it does.
Does it a little bit? I like him, love the show. I probably sense that there was probably some of that assholishness that you hear it enough.
I
there
haven't
was
seen it yet,
stories
so
about
this is
it.
a mystery to me.
Not just him.
I think it was a little more ego than race related. I think it was more
Absolutely.
just John, like Wyatt's a younger comedian. He's probably worked there a couple years, and I'm sure Jon Stewart's like, you don't know nothing about anything. This is my.
Well,
shit."
I'm gonna run a good chunk of the interview, and we'll comment
All right.
on it throughout if you haven't heard.
Yeah.
So,
haven't
Chuck,
heard.
stick around, and
I'll stick around.
that'll be when we come back.
The Twin Cities Hit Show. We'll be right back.
MacMen. Don't let your computer problems drive you mad. We are MacMen, Minnesota's premier tech consultants and problem solvers for Macs, mobile devices, troubleshooting, training, and much more. No more dragging your computer all over town because we come to you. We love making house calls to your home or small business. MacMen. Call 612-345-8005.
The term foodie can sometimes come across as a tickle pretentious. BT and Lydia are here to demystify the term and reclaim it for the sake of good food. Their weekly podcast brings in fellow foodies and culture creators from the Twin Cities to talk about all things food. Find this duo only on the Alive and Social Network.
The one and only Chart House. Your destination, whether dining for two, drinks with friends, or making up for that night with friends. Join us at the Chart House for brunch, dinner, or drinks.
Hi, I'm Josh Rupert, and I'd like to invite you to my restaurant, and I'll buy half your dinner. Go to charthouserestaurant.com to find out more.
Visit charthouserestaurant.com today for your special offer. And then come visit Chart House in person. Your table is waiting.
The Rusty Gatenby Review is the entertaining show about entertainment from movies, music, and more. Award-winning TV guy Rusty Gatenby and his review is the podcast with the biggest cast in entertainment. Part of the Alive and Social Network. You can get that Minnesota connection to Hollywood and beyond any time of the day or night simply by clicking on the RustyGatenbyReview.com. That's the RustyGatenbyReview.com. Part of the Alive and Social Network.
Let's face it, summer is short here in Minnesota, and we want to fill it up with concerts, ball games, and good times. Well, for a great night, log on to Blue and White, blueandwhitetaxi.com. Hey there, everybody, I'm Rusty Gatenby, your TV buddy, and I'm always up for a good time, but I've learned planning is part of the party. Do the pregame, do the pre-concert, and do the pre-plan. Pre-plan your ride, that is. Log on to blueandwhitetaxi.com. With the biggest fleet of taxis in town, you can enjoy every last drop of summer and get home safely and on time. No worries about money and tips. You set it all up before the fun with blueandwhitetaxi.com. Yeah, make it a great night. Log on to the Blue and White, blueandwhitetaxi.com. No shirt, no shoes? Well, that's your problem.
You're listening to the Twin Cities Hit Show. Say it fast 3 times. We just dare you.
Listening to the Minnesota Twins beat up on the New York Yankees on Friday, 10-1. That was amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah. They bump in from commercial.
Really?
This song. This song, I am full on record that
I
this
know.
song is going to be used everywhere.
Again.
We started using it first.
That was the first time I knew that Rusty could be right about something.
Thank you. All right, so Wyatt Cenac, he's been around a while, but he considers showing up on The Daily Show, getting hired there, as a big break for him. He was a big fan. You saw his special?
Yeah.
Does he acknowledge The Daily Show at all? Or?
I don't think he does.
I'm
on a lot of pain medication usually.
Right.
For the last couple
yeah.
weeks.
So. It has nothing to do with this. You're always on pain medication.
His departure certainly sounded painful. He was on Mark Maron's podcast, which is kudos to Mark Maron. He's got one of the most successful podcasts going.
Yeah.
We're gonna catch him someday.
I've been listening to him a bunch. I actually just hit him up because I thought he was. No, he came in May, but I was like, "When are you coming on our podcast?" He didn't answer. It's really weird.
What?
Really so you tried to get Nick Swarsden?
Actually, I had a conversation with Nick yesterday about it. Yeah.
And?
I think November is doable.
All right. Good.
November.
Yeah. We'll try and stick around that long.
Yeah.
So this was a very hard interview to edit, and I was going to edit as much as I could just to the Jon Stewart subject. They had a blowout. It was making a little bit of buzz, but I hadn't heard the whole thing. Wyatt doesn't talk in sound bites. He'll finish a thought, and his inflection just flows into the next thought. So there's a good chunk here, so feel free. We can stop it. We can talk over it. But here's Wyatt Cenac trying to explain what went down with him and Jon Stewart. And basically, they had a blowout because John was doing his impression of...
Mike Caine?
Who?
What's his name?
Herman Cain. Yeah.
Yep.
And he thought it sounded racist to do the black impression. But here's Wyatt.
A guy that he stayed in his office, and
so now he's talking about Jon Stewart and what it was like working there.
It wasn't like he hung out, and I worked on that show for 4.5 years. We never really hung out outside the show. Honestly, the longest conversation we ever had was the day I quit, and that was like the most real conversation. And it was sad because I honestly thought in that conversation I was like, I wish This was how I wished I had been able to talk to you for 4.5 years.
And you had heard that Jon Stewart was a bit of a
Not
dick?
just from him, just from other people.
I had never heard that. I always heard he was a great
Somehow
nice
that
guy.
doesn't surprise me.
Why?
He just looks smug. He's funny.
Yeah, I think he was just a control freak about his show.
Sure.
It was
It's
his
his-
show, and he felt that he was, the show.
Yeah. Well, he did it. He was the show, but yeah, he had 11 writers. So
Yeah.
that helps.
And maybe I wouldn't be leaving now if we had this kind of relationship where it just even felt like respect.
Mhm.
Like that's, because you can be a boss and still respect your employees. Once got to improvise with Robin Williams, and I walked out in a scene, and it was me and another black improviser named Thomas Fowler, and we walked out, and Robin Williams was immediately like, "Hey, Bloods, what's happening?" And we both just shut him down. And
Now, is that ever appropriate? Because I've seen Robin Williams do that, and I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah. Context.
So you can't do any character voices,
I guess
period.
not.
None.
Only black people can make fun
Yeah.
of white guy voices, but it's not.
Well, that
it's not
means
both
you
ways.
can't do Southern
Right,
dialect.
you can do whatever
can't
you
do
want.
English
It's comedy.
dialect.
Yeah. It's comedy. And
But
you-
you're going to you're offending someone who's from England, evidently.
Well,
But there's nothing. Our race relations in the United States are a unique animal. I don't think you can do that.
Where was it coming from? Was it coming from a place of hate and meanness, or was it fun and playful? And I don't know. I just
Wyatt
think
goes on
that's
to explain
wrong.
it doesn't make any difference where it's coming from.
It's just like we just spoke and acted as ourselves, and it was this thing where it was just like, I know you think you're being funny, but that really, like, you've just reduced us to that's all we can be is just jive motherfuckers. And so
really, no,
with
he
this
didn't.
with John, it
He
was
never
that
said
same sort of thing where it's like, I don't think this is from a malicious place, but I think this is from a sort of naive, kind of ignorant place.
Right.
That is like, oh no, you just did this and you weren't thinking about it. It's just the voice that came into your head. And so it bugged me. So he wanted to respond. He wanted to do this thing where he was like, everything I do is racist.
Which I get, because now I'm like, evidently the point is you can't do any impersonations then
Mhm.
of people. Because if you can't do, hey, what's up, motherfucker?
Yeah, right.
Then you can't do cheerio.
Yeah.
Because
Or you
I'm of the English descent,
or
and
you
now I'm
can't-
quite
There's
upset.
hypersensitivity to
Or
race.
Bill Eddie Murphy when he was Mr. White and on the bus,
Right.
just like a white
Yeah.
guy. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
But it
And I thought that was hilarious, and
It
I thought
was.
that, and I thought that showed
Absolutely.
incredible talent to be able to
Absolutely.
observe if another human being. I see it as we're doing observations of fellow human beings.
There's a horrible double standard. There really is,
Yeah.
and it's. But Robin Williams should have done it. But my take on this guy, and I've never even heard.
Robin
of him.
Williams should not have done that.
I mean,
If
yeah,
it was them
he
acting as
doesn't wanna piss
themselves,
people
I
off.
guess, because it's
Yeah,
kind
if they're
of
friends.
the picture he's painting of them
Yeah.
doing improv and
Yeah.
they're not in a jive
Right.
situation,
Right.
and Robin Williams tried to bring it there. I
Yeah.
get it from that standpoint of that improvised thing that they were doing right there. But I mean, if they were doing a character, why wouldn't Robin Williams do that?
Yeah, here's what I'm saying. So he shouldn't have done it because it's going to piss them off. I don't think there's anything wrong with him doing it. It's just there's a weird double standard in our culture, and he violated the double
Well,
standard.
not everyone would have been pissed off by that.
Yeah.
There's other black people who
But-
would have been totally fine with that. So
and
how
my-
would he
Richard
know?
Pryor,
Right.
Richard Pryor would do impressions of certain black characters.
Right.
They can get away with it.
Why?
It's the same reason they can say the N-word and we can't.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know. It's
We're
not-
all human beings.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's right.
In
but here's
fact,
my take on this.
I even do impersonations of cats. Meow.
See, that's don't
I'm not
do
a
that.
cat.
Don't do that,
No,
right?
you've
Don't.
gone too far.
Don't. Wyatt Cenac. Here's my take on this guy. He sounds like a huge pain in the ass.
We'll let this go on.
And he was like, all my impressions are racist, and he wanted to do that. And so we had this
thing.
email
It's my thing, being racist.
listserv that would go around, and so that was what came out of it. Was like, John wants to respond that way. And I remember I emailed back and I said, I got to be honest, when I heard it, it bothered me. It bugged me a little bit. And one of the producers and I think the head writer both wrote back and they were like, sorry, yeah, no, we'll talk to him about it. And he got incredibly defensive. And I remember he was like, what are you trying to say? There's a tone in your voice. And I was like, there's no tone. And I was like, it bothered me. And he was like, I was like, it sounded like Kingfish. And then he just he got upset and he stood up and he was just like, fuck off. I'm done with you. And he just started screaming that to me. And he screamed it a few times. And he was just like, fuck off. I'm done with you. And he stormed out. And then I didn't know if I'd been fired. And again, this is the guy who saved me.
Yeah.
And now he's multiple times to my face, I'm done with you, fuck off. And I remember he went to his office, and so I just followed him because I was just like, I don't know if I got fired. And we got into the argument, like it continued there, and he yelled and he never saw my point, and I still never knew if I got fired. In the same way that I never knew I got hired, I never knew that I got fired.
Yeah.
And
was there a crowd of people waiting to get into Colbert?
There should have
when you got the call.
Yeah, but I didn't get fired. But he, I think, sadly, and I think that's the thing in a job like that, because you're getting shots from so many sides, you sometimes need an outlet to explode on. And
he wraps it up here in like 30 seconds, but
maybe the fuck off thing was a little too much. Maybe you shouldn't scream in one of your writer's face, fuck off repeatedly. That sounds a little Donald Trumpy.
You know what I think, though? I think in a nutshell where Stewart was coming from, it was an ego thing, because this is a progressive man who has always fought the fight for the minorities, the downtrodden. He prides himself in being a liberal.
Yeah.
And liberals can't be racist. And he was basically like offended that how dare you call me that. And even if it was perceived as that, it bothered him that it was perceived as that. So all of a sudden, the shoe was on the other foot for him. He was being called out for something that he doesn't see himself being. So it was more of a pride, ego, like...
Especially in his castle.
Yeah.
This is what I created. This isn't the Wyatt Cenac show.
No
This is the Jon Stewart show. You don't talk to me like that.
There's like 30 more seconds, and I think he gets in, Wyatt, a little bit how John tries to explain
outlet
himself.
became me. And we wound up in this argument, and it went for a long time. And
about racism.
Basically, yeah. And he was kind of like, you've never had a problem with any of the other voices I do. And I was kind of like, what are you talking about? And he was like, you've never had a problem with my Chuck Schumer. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck you mean. And then he wound up doing a Chuck Schumer impression. That's when you know an argument is happening between like comedians, when it's just like he starts doing an impression like, you've never bitched about that. And it's just like, and I remember being like, well, I'm not Jewish. Like you're Jewish, so I trust that whatever heat you're gonna take, that heat is gonna fall back on you. And something like this, I represent my community and I represent my people. Really? And I try to represent them the best that I can. I got to be honest. If something seems questionable, because if not, then I don't want to be in a position where I am being untrue, not just to myself, but to my culture.
Okay.
Was there a vote that the black people missed out on? Did we vote him? He's our speaker.
They can vote now.
Yeah.
It was Will Smith
We all
for a
know
long,
black
long
people
time,
don't
and
vote.
now it's Wyatt. Now it's Wyatt Cenac.
Yeah. He sounds hypersensitive. He sounds like a pain in the ass.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can't say anything.
The last 30 seconds really changed my mind on that whole thing.
Yeah. No, it's seriously.
Well, he kind of...
He's speaking for his people.
Yeah, and then he was like, well, I'm not mad at any other impressions. And he should have been like, no, all your other impressions are racist as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People should be calling you out on all of them.
That being
Instead,
said-
he was like, nope, don't care.
Yeah.
Just the black one pisses me off.
No, and
that kind
that's
of
the double standard.
Yeah, that is the double standard on it. He should have been like, no. That one's bad too.
Yeah. You know,
all of them are actually pretty bad, and we've been talking about it.
You know why there's a double standard? When I have to explain to my 8-year-old, when she's 9 in tomorrow, by the way.
Ooh. Did you have to look at your watch for that?
Thank you.
Who
I know.
cares?
Yeah, thank you. I have to explain. Shut up. I have to explain to my
Do not
9-year-old
impersonator.
why some people can say the N-word and some can't. And that is a problem. And when you
why did you have to explain that to an 8-year-old?
Because when you walk
because
through the
she
Mall
says
of America,
it- she says it
because
way
I called
too
her
much.
one. Because I called her one. She's adopted. No, just kidding. No, you're walking through the Mall of America, and that word is every other word when you're down in the transit center. And
it is.
Oh God, yeah. MF, MFN, MF, MFN. Hey, yo, come over here and come here, and it's just nonstop.
Where are you hanging out?
If you go through the transit center, which I do because I use the police parking.
Your poor kids.
I know.
You use the police parking? How long have you been retired?
Yeah, I still get the police parking, so you stay out of this.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna become a cop.
I still get to point
Seems
my
like
gun
you
at
just
people
do it for
all
a
the
little
time.
bit, and then you just get to.
I don't
take
get
care of the
speeding
benefits
tickets
for
either,
everything.
yo.
At Macy's, you get the lifelong discount.
Yeah.
You've been there for a few
But
years.
it seems like a pretty deep conversation to have with an 8-year-old, but go on.
Yeah, but if you go anywhere in public where there are people of a certain culture, and I'm talking talking more socioeconomic than race. But the point is they walk around throwing out the MF and N every other word. And so an 8-year-old hears that, and especially when she's a little younger, she might throw that out. And you got to go, no, you can't say that. He can. You can't. That's a horrible word. Don't ever say that. Don't even think it. Yes, I know you just heard this guy say it to another guy in casual conversation, but don't say it.
I'm on team black people on that one. If they don't want other people using that word, it's got such a horrible history.
No, I get that.
Yeah,
I get that.
I'm on team that
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah,
Well,
I
am, but
and here's the team I'm on. I'm on the team that I recognize that it's a social
No one should say it.
taboo,
Yeah,
and you shouldn't say it.
agreed. Yeah.
I
Agreed.
think words should be just words, and you
Right.
give them power
Right.
when you allow them to
Right.
affect.
You know what
Was
it's
it
about?
wrong for me to say I'm on team black people? That sounds wrong now that I said it out loud.
I think it's more comfortable for
Listen
your
to
husband if
us.
team
Darn
black
it.
people are on you.
It was really nice being on your show. I'm glad.
No, really.
It isn't. It's sensitive waters. You don't know where to step. You don't think you're a racist. You
Yeah.
don't want to be
Right.
a racist.
Right.
But yet we're stupid white Minnesotans, and sometimes we knock over furniture.
Okay, so yeah,
But
what
we're,
happens?
oops, we're accidentally racist.
What happens if my 9-year-old's 6 now? We're walking to the mall. She hears the word and she starts using it, and she uses it in the wrong place. And people go, "Oh, what are you teaching your daughter? Why is it?" Because she heard it from
I love
you.
that there's a wrong place.
Yeah, well, there is. That's what I mean. We're talking
Starbucks,
Like
anywhere
everywhere?
really.
Yeah.
Public.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We're talking semantics.
When you're at
It's a
home,
word.
she
Yes.
could refer to it,
Totally.
"Daddy, my
Yes.
N-word."
Yes.
I think
Fine.
I think my
Daddy,
I think
my
my parents
N-word.
had to tell me not to say it. I wasn't
really?
allowed to say it to young. Well, like I have a family that we don't talk to most of them, but the ones we do talk to are African American.
Oh, really? Okay.
So like they say it, and I grew up with all my cousins saying
Yeah.
it, and they're like, "Well, all your cousins can say it, but
Isn't that
you
weird?
and your brother and sister are the only ones who can't."
Isn't? Oh, great. That's typical.
Yeah.
So-
Well, just you guys can. They can.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
That's
"Well, what
weird.
about the cousins we don't talk to?" She's like, "Well, we don't talk to them."
What a dynamic, though. Think about it.
Yeah.
Like,
'Cause
Thanksgiving
that was-
must be weird.
That was everybody could
Yo.
say it, but us.
Yo, pass the
See,
turkey,
that's-
my end.
But I understood it because it was like, oh, I get it
Yeah.
because of
The history of
Yeah.
race. And
Where did I just see that? Someone had an interview. It was on Last Comic Standing.
Oh yeah, you got
Yeah.
a big family. Full
Yeah, he's got a
of
family
half
like
black, half
yeah, and
white. Yeah.
yeah. He talked. He went. In, I don't watch many of the interviews on that show, but it was a very interesting interview.
Yeah.
because the dynamics in his family are they're basically two white dudes, and
all his black brothers.
yeah.
it was really easy for me to understand. I was like, oh, okay, I get it.
I would hope that my sons, when he becomes a grandfather, his grandchildren have no concept of all these issues.
Yeah.
And it's everyone's, at that point,
Well, yeah,
such
and-
a melting pot.
And
that
that's
they're
how
like,
it's going to be, and they're not even going to be able to fathom it.
Yeah,
Just kind of
it's
like,
like,
without
what?
without having the internet on
Disagree.
your phone and stuff, you're like, what?
It's
You
getting
don't have
worse
the
and worse
internet
and
on
worse.
your phone?
We're so
Well,
polarized.
once we don't have the Facebook, I will not know what to be outraged about. That's kind of how I gauge my rage.
Yeah, gauge my rage.
Like, oh, we're
Yo.
supposed to be angry about this today.
Way to go, my cracker.
Stop it.
Yeah.
And then I love.
I'm on Team Not Chuck as well.
That sounded wrong.
It's a huge
That
team.
sounded right.
It's a huge team.
Chuck, you said you had something in the world of crime today.
Yeah.
Do you, in fact, have? Did you actually do something today?
There's two stories out of the
Now,
local paper.
your mission was supposed to be fun crime. Now you're pulling out real rape and dead baby stuff, aren't you?
Calm down.
Okay.
You don't have a police
Raping
blotter
dead
still?
babies is
We,
a crime.
when this show began 120 episodes ago, Chuck was fully informed you should go to the wacky crime, like the criminals that are stuck in the microwave.
And the
The
chimneys.
fun crime. And then Chuck's like, okay, he comes. 2 dead babies were locked in the car.
There, I muted him. We're good. So, here's the deal. I want to. Don't you put that back. So,
What?
here's the deal. Lakeville, Sun Time. Now, this is a very pressing edition because next to the story about murder is the real story. The story about Lakeville murder.
Lakeville man charged with murder.
Yeah, which is good. We need that stuff in Lakeville. Keep our police department relevant. Did you hear about the disqualification of the baby at
For the
Panaprog?
the crawling contest.
Yeah.
It was a
Did you
while
hear about-
ago.
Yeah, this is a scandal. This is still percolating in the local situation.
Was the baby juicing?
Well, here's the deal. The baby crawled with unconventional methods. So most babies,
On their knees.
they do kind of a thing. And the rules are, no scooting, blah, blah, blah. This baby did a weird, modified triangular crawl and won.
And
Yeah.
what?
So the mother is pissed. This is all over social media.
What do you win, by the way? I mean,
Nothing.
No.
Nothing. I think you maybe win a box of diapers. You win
Bragging
bragging rights.
rights.
You
Yeah.
have to keep an eye on the
Yeah.
moms who are upset.
Yeah.
Because they ain't right.
So, 10-month-old Berkeley Bailey was first to cross the line in her heat. But because she scoots and does not crawl in a conventional manner, she was disqualified from the race and not allowed to win a trophy. Oh, it's a trophy. I'm so sorry. So, and the rules were verbally announced at the beginning of the race. Now, social media is a Twitter about this. And there's a picture, a lovely Ann Getty-style picture of the baby and the mother.
Let's see.
Yeah, I don't know if it's in this version. It's not. It's in the online version. Oh. Because I actually... No, but mother is lovely. Just very beautiful. 22 years old. 22. When did you have your first kid?
27.
Yeah, would you have been this pissed about this? The mom won't let it go.
So it's the mom.
Yeah.
She's the one who's carrying on this outrage.
She won't.
No, it's the baby. Bullshit.
Yeah.
I thought
belly was just dragging. That's how I looked at it.
I thought they won and got the trophy. The other moms were upset that the cheating baby won.
She was disqualified. And she will not let it go.
So right there on property at the event, they went, no, that baby's cheating. No trophy for you.
They threw a card like they do in soccer as a baby.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. Not fair for disqualifying a baby. For crawling differently. See, again, we're talking about differences.
Why can't
Not
we all
fair.
just
Not
crawl
fair.
along?
Yeah, so I don't know. They're looking at some different things for next year's crawl-a-thon at Lakeville Panaprog, but we'll see what happens.
Did you go?
Did I go? I've been to the baby crawl-a-thon.
He competed in the crawl-a-thon.
Yeah, I lost.
You were in the first one.
By scooter, I took off my pants and I literally scooted. I mean,
He had an itchy hemorrhoid.
Yeah.
Poor taste.
Yeah.
Dragged his ass across the
Also on the Lakeville
race
paper.
course.
Also on the
Wow.
Lakeville paper.
I see where you did your research.
Yeah.
All
Pocket
right.
dialing idiots. This is a complicated story. I'm going to try and boil it down.
How can you pocket dial with
Pocket
smartphones?
dial leads to felony
They pocket
charge.
dialed a police detective's voicemail.
Yours.
On a
That's
on a
like the
2-year-old
butt
case.
dialing?
Yeah.
That's butt dialing,
Yeah.
basically? All right.
Yeah, a 2-year-old case.
Lakeville is sensitive to the word butt, so they've named it pocket.
Yes, yeah.
Got it.
Butt is racist, and we're a very homogenous community.
All right.
Yep. So they had an open case. Basically, there's a damage to property, and this is a really complicated deal. But there's a damage to property. They had video of the suspects doing a ton of damage to this guy's car. He's got an ongoing dispute with his ex-wife. Random. I can't imagine that happening between a couple. And so this case is open for like 2 years. They had video of a guy. They knew it was one of these two guys, probably. But then randomly, one of them voice dials, butt dials, pocket dials, the police detective, and there's a confession, accidentally, as he's there a conversation with his father, and he's basically letting his whole case out.
You can't pocket dial anymore.
An accident, and it just so happens the one time that happens, you're confessing to a crime.
Yeah.
I call BS.
Multiple calls. The case remained stagnant, this 2-year-old case, until January 25th, when Lakeville police said, after Mike Radine is the suspect, called one of their officers to discuss a fraud report and allegations about a different case. Now, later that day, that same officer received 4 voicemails from a cell phone number that had repeatedly dialed police while the phone was in his pocket and unknowingly made the call. Recorded were conversations between Mike and his son Zachary, who ends up being the suspect, that according to Lakeville Police Lieutenant Jason Polinsky was a full confession of the property damage at Rucky's.
Sounds like
Think of
it's
the
like
odds.
a conscience was bothering him, and he couldn't bring himself to call, so if he did it that way.
Interesting. We should get Polinsky on to talk about this. I know that guy. That's a good case. This kind of stuff happened all the time when I was in law enforcement. Idiots doing stuff like this. Checking in on Foursquare when they have warrants for their arrests, that kind of stuff.
I can believe. The other ones.
We should have that be part of your segment. And here comes a true tale from the idiot file of Chuck.
Could I include my personal life?
yeah, if you want.
What are your statutes of limitation on talking about stuff like that?
I think it was I retired on the 9th, so let's go the 10th of September 2012.
So you can fully disclose anything now?
I think within reason, yeah.
Yeah, well, within reason.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't be like, oh, this happened.
Oh, this happened. Had hemorrhoid surgery.
You can talk about hemorrhoid surgery.
I think that seems like a reasonable thing.
All right, well, that is 1 hour we just wasted.
Oh, my
I hope you're all proud of yourself.
I don't feel we wasted
it. Did. Look what you've done.
I don't feel we wasted it at all.
Josh, where are we going to be able to see you then? Are you got a gig anywhere?
Besides face down in bed.
It's summer.
Are you going to be
I have nothing in town. How far does this go out?
It is worldwide and international.
Worldwide International. I'll be at the Laugh Factory September 4th through the 6th in San Diego.
Nice. How do you swing? How do you land that?
Because my uncle's Louis Anderson.
First time you've said that out loud.
Is he going to be out there?
Yep, I'm emceeing for him.
Oh,
Nice.
very nice.
Nice.
He's well, I don't want. Yeah, I like Louis.
I still had to get hired by the Laugh Factory.
Ah, screw that. Your dad's. Your great uncle's Louis. If he's that great, it'll make it happen. San Diego when?
September 4th through the 6th.
Nice time of the year.
Yeah.
Colleen, you want to go? Rusty? Book tickets. Let's do it.
All right.
Don't you have a gig tonight?
Yeah, I do. Where am I? Oh, Monday Night Comedy Show. Monday Night Comedy Show, Club Underground, Spring Street Tavern, Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Minneapolis.
Fabulous 10 minutes of cutting-edge comedy.
Ooh, August 6th, they'll be at the House of Comedy.
Oh, nice.
At the Hit or Miss Showcase, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
House of Comedy is where?
In the Mall of America.
Oh.
Where they use racial slurs.
Yes.
I learned, I don't know.
Down in the Metro Zone? What is it?
Yeah, Transit.
Transit Zone? Good. All right.
Attaboy, my cracker.
If I remember missing racial slurs, I'll go down there if I'm ever in need of. And Colleen, you're just hanging out. You're just
I've got stuff, it doesn't start up until fall for me. I
Nice.
haven't really been all that active.
Taking the summer off.
I know. I do. Maybe open mic here and there, but
We're going to end the show with this boy band.
We'd like to carry on. We'd like to carry on with the song.
She's
This is our next
stomping her
song,
feet.
Something like that record. And this
crying.
one is
Good.
called I Feel Fine.
my favorite song. I can do air guitar to this.
I like what they did here, too, because the crowd is so loud at Shea Stadium, so they try to isolate their mics. And as we've heard in modern day, quite often they're out of tune and horrible. These guys are actually not bad.
They're amazing.
They couldn't hear each other.
Well, that was at the time where they always had to be on point.
I mean, that's pretty good harmony for not hearing each other.
I didn't realize the three of us came together so well on Beatles. I mean, that's kind of cool.
Who do we have on the show tomorrow?
Paul McCartney.
I don't think we have a guest.
Are you back with us tomorrow?
I am.
Good. All right.
Yeah, our guest for tomorrow canceled. We haven't rebooked. So.
Oh, so if you're listening, anyone, come on in.
Yeah. But Wednesday,
the Alive and Social Studios.
Can I talk about Wednesday?
All right.
Yeah. Acme or House of Comedy headliner Jenny Zigrino will be here on Wednesday.
All right. Cool. Okay. Well, here you go. Have a good Monday, everyone. I hope you feel fine. And thanks, Josh, for coming in. Nice to
Thanks
see
for
you again.
having me.
And we'll see everyone tomorrow. All right?
Thank you.
Everyone feel fine. I got to talk to my daughter, see how that concert was last night.
Baby says she's mine, you know she tells me all the time, you know she says so. I'm in love with her and I feel fine. I'm so glad, ooh, my little girl. She's so glad she's telling all the world that a baby buys a thing, you know. It buys a diamond ring, you know. It's so. She's in love with me and I feel fine. She's in love with me and I feel fine.